Now, a family from Wells says that their lives have been turned around after 3 out of the 4 of them were diagnosed with a lifelong chronic condition in the last 10 years, ME, or as it's known, chronic fatigue syndrome. Well, this week, the Wells and Mendip Hills Lib Dem MP, Tessa Munt, held a debate in Parliament where she pressed the government to accelerate research and to commit to specialist services for those who are very ill with the condition. Here's a bit of my chat with her from earlier on.
The symptoms of ME go far beyond chronic fatigue or being very tired. The sickest patients lie alone in darkest rooms, and sometimes they're unable to move or speak, or in the very worst cases, to swallow or to digest food. Even at the mildest end of this condition, people with ME, who once had lives, hopes and dreams for the future, live a shadow of their former lives.
That was actually taken from the debate itself in Westminster Hall earlier on this week. Now, Julie Heath from Wells is wife to John, who was diagnosed with ME 10 years ago. She's mum to 2 grown-up children who are also living with the condition as well. Julie and John join us now. Thank you very much for speaking to us, you two. John, I'm going to come to you first. Good morning. Perhaps you could give us an idea, and there'll be some people who don't know actually a lot about ME. So how does it affect you? What sort of symptoms do you have?
They're quite long and vast, unfortunately, and they are overlapping. Going on chronic fatigue is one of the worst ones, and it is much misaligned and misunderstood what fatigue means. But essentially, it's not just feeling tired. It's not like you've overdone it a bit. You need an hour or 40 winks to catch up with yourself. It is muscle weakness. You just can't do anything. You can't move in the worst cases, and you're pretty much feeling like a zombie. You're just in bed, lying down, in the peace and quiet, or audiobook going on in the background. Then there's pain. So there's constant pain for me, different for other people. And that's kind of a background pain and can go up and down depending on time of day, what I've been doing. I do use a wheelchair to help manage my fatigue. There's a thing called pacing, which is the primary way of managing the condition. And that is basically, you look at the lists of tasks that you're doing and understand the energy drain that you get from that. The follow-on is called PEM, which is post-exertional malaise, but that can not just be doing physical activity. It is also doing things like this, which is obviously going to have a high emotional content to it, which can be very draining. And the PEM can last for a day, or it can last for many, many weeks. So going to a hospital appointment, doing something that is out of the ordinary, outside of your normal pacing activities, can really have an impact. And unfortunately, it's an unknown impact, so you don't know how you are going to recover and how long it's going to take.
I guess also with appointments, if you book them in advance, you don't actually know how you'll be feeling on that day either, do you? I guess you must sort of, as you say, that you can have that PEM perhaps impacting you or not, depending on the different days. It must be very frustrating as well in that respect, I should think. Julie, thank you very much for that, John. I'll come back to you in a moment. Julie, your 2 children as well have both gone on to be diagnosed with ME since your husband as well. So what impact does the condition have on them?
Good morning, Charlie. For them, they're both in their early 20s. So John's described quite well the experience they are having as well with regards to the pain, the energy issues, the focus that you have to have on basic daily function of living. So they have had to give up their dreams, really, their ambitions for university. They've lost a lot of social connection, and now they've had to grow up very fast because their day-to-day existence is founded around, can I wash today? If I wash today, will I be able to do food today? For my son, he's quite consistent in his pacing. He has a very supportive partner who basically is his carer as well. and he stays on an even keel. For my daughter, she fluctuates. So as we're going into winter, I'm already noticing that she's in bed now and has been for the last few days. She's saying, I'm not really wanting to eat. So for her, we're watching out to see whether we're moving into severe over the winter. And it's a fluctuating element of it that for them is hard, because it teases you into the idea that maybe you can go and join normal life a little bit. But if you do, there's that whammy of the PEM. You will be back back in bed or worse than you were before, and take a while to recover. So it's isolation, it's lack of independence as well.
Julie, I understand, we're talking here about John and your two children. We're going to ask you to be a bit selfish now. I'm sure you're not a selfish person. But what about the impact on you? You're the only person in your family unit that doesn't have ME. It must mean that you're doing an awful lot looking after your children, looking after your husband. What impact has it had on you?
It's what I do now. It's very hard to explain. If people come to me and say, what do you do? And I sort of go, well, I'm a carer. Because it's what I do. That's my life. It's changed a lot. It's obviously, I was hoping to retire and travel and do all the lovely things, that you hope to in later life. I know that's not going to happen. It's given me, put me in a position where I've become an advocate. Because when you have ME, you don't have the energy to advocate for yourself. You don't have the ability to apply for benefits, to talk to adult social services, to do anything, even talking to your own GP. You can't do it. So I've become an advocate, and I'm proud to do it. But yes, absolutely, it is my life now. I am very lucky. I have a few friends who understand it very well, and I do get respite, weekends away 3 times a year. But otherwise, it's our lives. It's our normal.
And John, listening to that, when you hear your wife talking like that about the impact it's had on her life, how do you feel? Obviously, it's not something you can help, but how do you feel when you hear her talking like that?
Well, I'll try not to cry, actually. It is very hard. It's changed our lives totally. Well,
yeah, I'm sorry to put you in that position, John, but it feels like something that's impacted you so much, not just physically but mentally as well. Is that fair to say? It's put a huge mental strain onto your family?
Oh yeah. You can't really underestimate the amount of pressure and strain, especially going through trying to get PIP and universal credit for the kids so that they can try and be independent, even though we do have to financially support them. And I'm lucky that even though part-time I can work, but working is now more or less my life. You work and then you have to recover from working. But I'm immensely proud of my wife and what she does for me and for our children.
What would help you, John? We're hearing from Tessa Munt, your MP, earlier on, talking about trying to get the government to understand a bit more about the condition, to try and offer more. What would really help you from the government, from the NHS?
There is a lack of research. Long COVID did help a little, but it's phasing off again across the globe, and not just within the UK. So research into the causes or anything that's going to help that area, raising awareness with everybody. I have colleagues and other people that I've talked to, some with ME, some with long COVID, and they've had cancer as well. So they've gone through the cancer process, and they said that ME is much worse than actually having cancer. And if you look at the research that's going on into cancer and all the support that you can get through charities and private health insurance, if you're working with private health insurance, that is all covered. ME isn't covered, chronic condition. So my insurance lasted 6 months. That was it. I'm now chronic, so I don't qualify for anything like that. So awareness is a big one of how bad it can be, and losing your life as such. I don't mean dying. I mean, I am now a different person. So you don't really recognise, there's glimpses of it, but the person that I was.
Yeah. John,
and I've been going through the hoops with going through, when you go to NHS, you get seen for that symptom and they don't correlate it with ME or other symptoms. And there's a lot of comorbidity across conditions with ME. And there's no holistic support, and that would be really helpful to have that and not be bounced around.
Well, John, thank you so much for speaking to us, and Julie as well. I really appreciate you painting that picture of what your lives are like now with this condition, obviously with your children having it as well. So I'm sorry, John, I didn't mean to upset you earlier on, but it's really important to hear, I think, just the impact that it's had on you. So thank you very much, both of you, for your time this morning.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Thanks very much. That is Julie and John Heath from Wells, who their children as well have ME as well as John. The Department for Health and Social Care has sent us this. We recognise how devastating ME, or chronic fatigue syndrome, can be, and are committed to improving care and support for people affected by the condition. Our new ME, or CFS, final delivery plans set out clear steps for transforming care and support for patients by investing in research, helping people live more independently, and tackling stigma and lack of awareness through improved training for NHS staff. It also sets out a series of actions which will help address the key challenges and drive forward improvements to outcomes and quality of life for people who live with the condition.